Respect is not demanded, it's communicated before we even speak. Long before words are spoken, our presence tells a story. The way we enter a room, the way we carry ourselves, the way we stand when no one is watching, all of these create impressions that shape how others treat us. People don't wait for us to explain who we are. They read us instantly, often unconsciously, through the signals our bodies give away. When someone walks in slouched, avoiding eye contact and shrinking into the background, we instinctively decide they aren't leading the room. On the other hand, when someone enters with shoulders back, head lifted, and movements grounded, they don't even need to introduce themselves. We already sense authority. Respect begins not with titles, not with words, but with presence. It's important to understand that humans are wired to detect signals of safety and dominance. This isn't about intimidation, it's about assurance. A confident posture communicates that you are steady, reliable, and worth paying attention to. When you own your space without arrogance, people feel safe to trust you. That trust is the seed of respect. Consider how often decisions are made in the first few seconds of meeting someone. Those seconds are rarely shaped by logic or conversation. They're shaped by body language. That handshake, that smile, that stance, they become the foundation of the relationship before a single meaningful exchange occurs. Respect doesn't wait for your RA some, it waits for your posture. What makes this even more powerful is that body language is universal. Cultures vary in gestures and rituals, but confidence, openness, and authenticity are recognized everywhere. We don't need a translation for a genuine smile, steady eye contact, or a firm stance. These cues are older than language, and they work across borders, professions, and backgrounds. When we fail to communicate respect through our body, we unintentionally undermine our own credibility. Nervous fidgeting, avoiding gaze, or standing too rigid can all send signals that contradict the words we are saying. People notice when there is a gap between how we present ourselves and what we claim to stand for. That gap weakens respect, often without us realizing it. On the flip side, when body language aligns with intention, the effect is magnetic. Someone who looks you in the eye while listening, who gestures naturally while speaking, who stands in a way that feels calm yet grounded, they command attention without ever asking for it. People don't just hear them, they believe them. Respect is earned not by demanding authority, but by embodying it. And here's the truth. Respect starts with how we treat ourselves. If we carry ourselves as though we matter, others are more likely to mirror that belief. If we stand tall, breathe deeply, and hold space with calm assurance, we are not just signaling respect to others, we are practicing respect for ourselves. Body language is the first signal of confidence or insecurity. Long before someone hears our voice, they see how we show up. The tilt of the head, the movement of the hands, the way our feet are planted, each of these sends a message. It doesn't matter if we are meeting someone for the first time or walking into a room full of familiar faces. People instinctively read our bodies before they process our words. Confidence is not just felt, it is seen. When we sit upright, make eye contact, and move with intention, others perceive strength. This doesn't mean putting on a performance. It means carrying ourselves in a way that reflects inner steadiness. A person who walks in with open gestures and relaxed movements communicates assurance without needing to say, "I am confident." Insecurity, on the other hand, leaks out in subtle ways. Crossing arms too tightly, shifting weight nervously, avoiding eye contact, or rushing through movements. These small signals suggest discomfort or doubt. People don't always know exactly why they sense hesitation, but they feel it. The body reveals what the mind is trying to hide. Think about the moments when you've trusted a leader instantly. Chances are it wasn't their words that convinced you first, but their presence. They may have spoken slowly, held eye contact, and stood firmly in one place, making you feel that they had nothing to prove. That calm assurance creates trust, while jittery movements or scattered gestures would have done the opposite. What makes body language powerful is that it bypasses logic. We don't analyze it consciously most of the time, we just respond. A speaker may be delivering brilliant ideas, but if their posture is weak and their gestures closed, the message feels less persuasive. Meanwhile, someone with strong, aligned body language can deliver simple words that carry weight. It's also worth noting that confidence in body language is not about size or dominance. It's about clarity. Even someone soft-spoken can command attention if their body reflects calm certainty. A quiet nod, a measured pause, a steady gaze, these cues make people lean in, not because of volume, but because of conviction. The fascinating part is that body language not only signals confidence or insecurity to others, it reinforces it within us. When we choose to stand taller, breathe deeper, and move with intention, we start to feel more confident in ourselves. The body doesn't just express emotion, it shapes it. The way we carry ourselves influences the way we think and the way we are perceived. Ultimately, every interaction begins with a choice. Do we let our body broadcast doubt, or do we allow it to embody confidence? The answer is rarely in the words we say, it's in the signals we send before we speak. The way we stand can invite or repel trust. Posture is more than just a physical stance, it's a declaration of presence. When we enter a space, people notice whether we appear open or closed, steady or uncertain. Our stance becomes the first filter through which others decide if we are worth listening to, if we are approachable, or if we are hiding something. Standing tall with relaxed shoulders signals openness and strength. It shows that we are comfortable in our own skin and that we respect the space we occupy. A grounded stance communicates stability, the kind that makes people feel they can lean on us, rely on us, and believe in us. Trust grows when others sense we are both confident and approachable. By contrast, a closed or defensive stance can create distance. Crossing arms tightly, hunching forward, or shifting weight back and forth suggests hesitation or self-protection. Even if our words are sincere, the body sends a message that contradicts them. People may not consciously label it as distrust, but they will feel it as unease, making them less likely to connect. Think about leaders who command trust the moment they step onto a stage. They don't need to move frantically or gesture wildly. Often, they simply stand tall, feet firmly planted, and allow silence to do the work. Their stillness is not emptiness, it is authority. That steadiness tells the audience, I am here, and you can trust me. The same principle applies in everyday interactions. Whether we are speaking in a meeting, greeting someone at the door, or standing in line, our stance communicates volumes. If we lean too far away, we seem disengaged. If we lean too aggressively forward, we seem confrontational. Balance, firm, open, and relaxed is what invites trust. Our stance also affects how people perceive our honesty. A person standing with their body slightly turned away or their arms tightly crossed may appear to be withholding information, even if they are not. On the other hand, someone who faces others directly, hands relaxed at their sides or gesturing naturally, sends the signal, I have nothing to hide. It's not only others who are influenced by our stance, we are too. The body shapes the mind. When we stand in a grounded, upright position, we feel more centered. That inner steadiness translates outward, reinforcing the impression of trustworthiness. The way we stand doesn't just convince others, it convinces ourselves. In moments of pressure, when words may fail or emotions run high, stance becomes an anchor. Remaining upright, calm, and steady communicates resilience. It tells people that even in uncertainty, we are not shaken. And in that quiet, physical assurance, trust finds its foundation. Eye contact determines whether others feel acknowledged or dismissed. From the moment two people meet, the eyes become the first bridge. A steady, genuine look communicates, I see you, you matter. On the other hand, avoiding eye contact or darting glances away sends the opposite message, that someone is unimportant, that their presence is not fully recognized. When we hold eye contact with warmth and respect, we create connection. It doesn't need to be long or intense, even a brief but intentional glance tells someone they are being heard. In conversations, maintaining eye contact while listening is often more powerful than the words we respond with. It is the silent affirmation that says, I value your voice. Avoiding eye contact can unintentionally signal insecurity or disinterest. Looking down, shifting away, or staring at distractions makes the other person feel dismissed. They may question whether we are hiding something, lacking confidence, or simply not engaged. Even if that's not our intention, the effect is the same. The bond weakens before it has the chance to form. But too much eye contact can be just as problematic. A hard, unbroken stare can feel intimidating or even aggressive. Respectful eye contact is about balance long enough to create trust, soft enough to feel human. It is less about dominating the other person and more about meeting them on equal ground. Eye contact also shapes how people perceive our credibility. A speaker who avoids the audience's gaze feels uncertain, no matter how strong their content is. But one who looks directly at individuals in the room creates the sense of conversation rather than performance. People walk away believing not just in the message, but in the messenger. In leadership, eye contact is one of the fastest ways to build belonging. When a leader looks into the eyes of their team while addressing them, each person feels included. The message shifts from abstract to personal. People don't just hear the leader's words, they feel seen within them. That recognition deepens loyalty and trust. Even in silence, eye contact communicates volumes. Across a dinner table in a negotiation or during a difficult conversation, a single glance can carry empathy, strength, or reassurance. Words may fail in complex moments, but eyes rarely do. They reveal emotion in ways language cannot. What makes eye contact powerful is that it works both ways. When we give it, we offer acknowledgement. When we receive it, we feel understood. It is a loop of connection, a reminder that respect is not just about being heard, but about being seen. Hand gestures either strengthen or weaken our words. When we speak, our hands become an extension of our thoughts, painting pictures in the air that help others understand us. The right gesture can emphasize a point, add clarity, and make our message more memorable. Without them, even powerful words can feel flat, as though something essential is missing. Gestures give rhythm to communication. A well-timed movement of the hand can underline a key idea in the same way a drumbeat emphasizes a note in music. They guide the listener's attention, showing them where to focus. When gestures and words align, the brain processes the message faster and with greater impact. But not all gestures help. Nervous fidgeting, wringing hands, or repetitive movements can distract from the message. Instead of reinforcing our words, they compete with them. The audience begins to pay more attention to the motion than the meaning. What was meant to add confidence ends up signaling anxiety. Open gestures, hands visible, palms occasionally shown, tend to inspire trust. They communicate honesty and transparency, sending a subconscious signal that we have nothing to hide. In contrast, hidden hands, clenched fists, or rigid movements can come across as guarded or defensive, even when our words are welcoming. Think of great speakers and how they use their hands. They don't flail wildly, nor do they stand stiff and motionless. Instead, their gestures are deliberate and purposeful. A spread of the hands to show inclusion, a firm downward motion to convey certainty, a subtle point to emphasize direction. All of these amplify the spoken message. Cultural context also plays a role. In some places, large sweeping gestures are seen as passionate and engaging, while in others they may feel excessive or disrespectful. Understanding the environment we are in allows us to adapt our gestures so that they connect rather than confuse. Gestures not only influence how others perceive us, but also how we feel as we speak. When we use our hands naturally, our communication flows more smoothly. It reduces tension and helps thoughts translate into words. Suppressing gestures often makes us sound less dynamic, while expressive movement makes our ideas feel alive. Ultimately, hand gestures are not accessories to speech. They are part of it. They can make our words stronger, clearer, and more human, or they can weaken them through distraction or inconsistency. The hands reveal the conviction behind the voice, shaping whether people believe in what we say. The pace and rhythm of our movements reveal self-control. Every step we take, every shift in posture, every gesture carries an unspoken rhythm that others pick up on instantly. When movements are steady and deliberate, they communicate calm authority. When they are rushed or erratic, they broadcast tension and unease, often undermining the very message we want to deliver. People instinctively trust those who move with composure. A leader who walks into a room without hurry, pauses before speaking, and uses unhurried gestures creates the sense of being in command. It's not about moving slowly for the sake of slowness, it's about moving with intention. That intention reassures others that the person is in control of themselves and therefore capable of leading. On the other hand, hurried or fidgety movements send a very different signal. Tapping feet, shifting weight constantly, or waving hands too quickly suggests restlessness or lack of focus. Even when the words are strong, the body betrays doubt or nervousness. People may not consciously identify the behavior, but they feel the dissonance and respond with less trust. The rhythm of movement also affects how others feel in our presence. A person who moves too quickly can make others feel rushed or anxious. In contrast, someone whose movements are balanced and measured creates an atmosphere of calm. The body becomes a tuning fork, setting the emotional pace of the interaction. Consider how powerful silence becomes when paired with stillness. Pausing before answering a difficult question, taking a breath before continuing a thought, these small moments of controlled rhythm convey confidence. They tell the listener, I am not reacting out of panic, I am choosing my response. That choice builds respect. In high-pressure situations, rhythm becomes even more revealing. When someone remains steady under stress, their movements reassure others that things are under control. But if they begin to pace, rush, or gesture frantically, the room mirrors that anxiety. Self-control is contagious, and so is its absence. The fascinating thing is that movement doesn't just reveal self-control, it reinforces it. When we consciously slow our pace, ground our gestures, and hold pauses, we begin to feel calmer inside. The body signals to the mind that there is no need to rush, and the mind responds by finding clarity. What emerges as a cycle's steady rhythm creates internal calm, which in turn projects external authority. People don't need us to be perfect, but they do need to sense that we are steady. And the way we move is often the clearest evidence of whether that steadiness exists. Mirroring others subtly builds connection and belonging. When two people reflect each other's movements, posture, or tone, it creates an unconscious signal that says, we are alike. This alignment doesn't require words. It happens through the body. A tilt of the head, a shift in posture, or even the pace of breathing can synchronize, and with that synchronization comes a sense of closeness. Humans are wired for mirroring. From infancy, babies mimic the expressions and gestures of their caregivers. This is how trust and bonding begin. As adults, the same principle applies. When someone reflects our body language, we feel validated. It reassures us that they understand, that they are present with us in the moment. Mirroring doesn't mean copying every move, which can feel forced or even mocking. It's about subtlety. If someone leans forward while sharing a thought, leaning slightly in return shows attentiveness. If they speak calmly and slowly, matching their rhythm communicates patience. These small adjustments create harmony without drawing attention to themselves. In conversations, mirroring often determines how safe someone feels opening up. A person who feels matched in posture and energy is more likely to share honestly. The brain perceives alignment as acceptance. Without realizing it, we associate that physical reflection with empathy and understanding. Leaders who practice mirroring often build stronger teams. When they reflect the tone and body language of their people, they create a sense of belonging. Team members feel less like they are being managed and more like they are being understood. That sense of being sync strengthens loyalty and trust. Mirroring also helps in navigating differences. In moments of tension, subtly aligning posture or gestures can reduce resistance. It signals respect without words, showing that we are willing to meet the other person where they are. That small act can soften conflict and open the door to collaboration. What makes mirroring powerful is its reciprocity. The more we mirror others, the more they tend to mirror us in return. This back and forth creates a cycle of connection where both people feel acknowledged and valued. It's less about technique and more about presence, being genuinely engaged enough that our bodies naturally align. When done with authenticity, mirroring becomes invisible yet deeply felt. It transforms ordinary interactions into moments of connection. People don't always leave remembering every word that was said, but they do remember how they felt, and mirroring ensures they feel like they belong. True respect comes when body language aligns with intention and authenticity. When our words and actions match, people sense harmony. When they don't, people sense dissonance. It doesn't matter how polished our speech is or how carefully we craft our message. If our body betrays doubt, fear, or dishonesty, the audience will always believe the body over the words. Authenticity is what makes body language powerful. A smile that is genuine feels different from one that is forced. An open stance that comes from comfort feels different from one that is staged. People are remarkably skilled at detecting inconsistency, even if they can't explain it. That is why respect isn't earned by rehearsing gestures, but by embodying them with sincerity. The intention behind our presence matters. If we approach an interaction seeking to impress or dominate, our body language will often reveal tension. But if our intention is to connect, to serve, or to collaborate, our gestures naturally soften. Eye contact becomes warmer, posture becomes more inviting, and movements feel more human. Intention and body language are inseparable. We've all experienced conversations where something felt off. The words were polite, yet the body said otherwise. A stiff handshake, a distracted gaze, or arms crossed too tightly. All of these contradict the spoken message. Respect is lost not because of the words themselves, but because the body revealed a lack of alignment. By contrast, when body language matches the heart, it creates trust immediately. Someone who speaks with conviction and shows it in their stance, tone and gestures doesn't need to convince anyone of their authenticity. It radiates naturally. Respect grows when people sense that what they are seeing is real, not rehearsed. This alignment also removes the burden of performance. When we are authentic, we don't need to remember what to do with our hands or how long to hold eye contact. The body responds to the truth we carry inside. Respect flows from that effortless honesty, where words and gestures move in the same rhythm. The challenge comes when fear disrupts authenticity. Nerves can cause us to overcompensate, exaggerate, or retreat into closed gestures. The key is not to mask fear, but to return to intention. Why am I here? What do I want to give? When we reconnect with purpose, the body follows with integrity. Respect, then, is not something we manufacture through perfect technique. It emerges when our body language becomes a mirror of who we are and why we are there. It is the visible expression of inner clarity, and when others see it, they respond with trust.